What does education mean for the future of our Indianapolis children? What inhibits the education system and children learning to their full potential in inner-city school systems? How do we, the community, aid in ensuring that children excel in their education? Before we can decide how to aid in the education of our inner-city youth, let's look at what often prevents their learning experiences. Did you know that nationwide there are approximately 1.5 million children with at least one parent incarcerated? The absence of parental figures oftentimes does not allow kids to stay up with their education. The stress in the child's home generally increases, also creating stress on the child itself and inhibiting their learning abilities. Studies show that in 2012, 17,000 students ranging from 5 to 17 struggle speaking English. Most of this is due to immigrant families with language barriers. 59% of the immigrants' families' parents have great difficulty speaking English themselves. Parents cannot help with homework or aid with their reading and comprehension skills if they are not familiar with the language. Illiteracy among parents is an ongoing issue as well. It is a fact those children who reach 4th grade without being able to proficiently read are more likely to drop out of high school and reduce their earnings potential and ability for life success. All of these factors inhibit Indianapolis's inner-city children. Knowledge is power, and ensuring our city's children's education provides less crime in the city and develops Indianapolis into a greater place. But how do we, the community, ensure this happens? United Way, a community-driven, non-for-profit organization, addresses these issues and aids in the success of our inner-city children by providing a program known as Read Up. Volunteers are welcome to take 1 hour of their busy lives a week to visit a school and tutor a child. This increases their reading levels exponentially. Read Up embraces the potential of children's education and guides them towards a path of opportunity and hope. Changing a child's future is the most rewarding aspect of this program. At the Kelley School of Business, Indiana University, the students understand what it takes to grow, accomplish, and persevere. According to Dean Kesner, Kelley is making positive change possible. Delta Sigma Pi Kappa Sigma Chapter is a co-ed business professional fraternity at IUPUI. Delta Sigma Pi is organized to foster the study of business in universities, to encourage scholarship, social activity, and the association of students for their mutual advancement by research and practice. The United Way's Read Up program and the Kelley School share mission similarities. After reviewing the two organizations, we decided to join in and help our local children to become the next generation of leaders. United Way's vision is to see a world where all individuals and families achieve their goals and reach their full potential. The Read Up program is in place to make a difference in the lives of children by setting them up for academic success. The Kelley School of Business shares the same interest of education and makes it accessible to many. The mission is to transform student lives through education and help them graduate to become great leaders. By connecting the organizations, more children can take interest in education at a very early age and will hopefully join a college such as IUPUI where they can take their education to a higher level. Most importantly, if this connection comes together, we will make a difference in our communities and brighten our children's futures. We set up a meeting with the volunteer coordinator for Read Up, and we were informed of what the program was and who it affected. Our goal was to get Kelley students involved with the program and hopefully have volunteers continuously sign up for years to come. Who better to be role models for children than determined college students? We linked the United Way coordinator with the Vice President of Community Service for the fraternity via email and transferred all information as to what was needed. In addition, We had meetings with each organization independently and remained in contact. Communication was our largest indicator of resistance. It took weeks to hear back from both United Way and the KSB fraternity. Resistance is expected during a change, but most of our resistance was due to time and possibly capabilities. While United Way jumped on board with the project, the fraternity was reluctant to initiate the change. As college students, we often become so busy we don't have the time to do extra activities. This could be a reason why it took so long to initiate the connection. Uncertainty is another reason for resistance. The fraternity could have felt unsure about wanting to partake because of lack of time or interest. The program would increase the workload for volunteers, especially when planning to make something an ongoing, yearly event. Uncertainty of personal gain or benefit, lack of time for such services, and lack of interest are the three major components of resistance this project faces. We observed two major polarities during this change process. The first, survival versus progression. The second is machine versus community, or for us, school versus home. Families with higher incomes are more capable of progression in their lives and generally have higher living standards. For many inner-city families, this is not the case. However, parents spend much of their time at work and do not have time to stay with their children. Oftentimes, there may only be one parent in the house, which provides less stability. If one or both parents are incarcerated, they are not able to take care of their children. The home life is in survival mode to ensure the necessary functions are taking place to survive, and they're not focused on other life factors to the full potential. It is believed that inner-city citizens also strive to progress, but may not have the necessary help or resources to do so. As for progression, it's important for every child's mind to expand and learn. It's important for families to spend time dedicated to their children's education. It's more than just education. It's about families bonding and morals and values being transferred to the children through examples, education, and conversation. Children of families that have the necessary resources are better equipped for their future. Essentially, if parents have less time to communicate with their children about progression and life itself, the children's behaviors and emotions could suffer, which could be adverse for their studies and growth. For this polarity, progression cannot exist without survival first. However, one can have survival without progression. The next polarity is school versus home. School provides routine and clear principles to guide behavior and build educational foundations. School is an example of structure at its finest. However, class schedules are unchangeable and everyone must arrive at a particular time unless having special reasons. School causes less personal time and could create struggle juggling the workload of various assignments and projects. At home, people usually have more flexible schedules and feel free to do as they please. Home makes people feel warm and happy. For many families, it's a place to wind down, and while there's usually structure at home, it's not to the extent of a school system. In an ideal world, all families have a fairly routine and structured environment, but oftentimes it's just not how it happens. Without the structure of school, the learning is not nearly as possible, and oftentimes the home life does not reflect the same vision as the school system. On the other hand, without a home life to provide healthy relationships and examples, the school system will most likely not have as large of an impact on the children due to motivational issues and possibly a lack of structure at home. For optimal results, both the school and home are necessary for proper development. The school acts as a machine in the way that they have so many policies and procedures that must take place for its own economic or funding purposes. The home greatly reflects the community where relationships are the primary concern. In conclusion, this project was very eye-opening for each of our group members. Understanding the need for the change, knowing that resistance will exist, finding out what factors must coexist, and how to execute the change is not easy. It's quite complicated. Learning the mental models of the people being affected is difficult, and it takes time. Though this project is only one example of change, it was more than enough to allow our group to understand the effort it takes to create a sustainable change.